Ah, T-Rex, you know what we forgot yesterday? Forgot to mention Happy Earth Day and also Happy Birthdays. Come on out to our friends Anson Hecking and Nancy Hecking. Only about 87 years apart. Congratulations, Hecking family. And what an interesting Earth Day we had weather-wise. And what an interesting day after we're having right now with cold air advection having returned. And at the summit of Mount Mansfield, Vermont, right now at 7:30 on April 23rd. It's a Wednesday. It's 27 degrees up there. So the groomers were able to do some grooming last night. And on the summit of Mount Washington this morning, we're down to 20. Wednesdays have been the day of the bluest sky and the least amount of wind this season, for the most part, this season being still hanging on to winter here. But it was howling last night. I could hear the wind. That was called cold air advection. The front finally made it through yesterday. It took some time. And yesterday's forecast was terrible. It did not work out at all. We didn't have any sunshine here until late in the day. And then late in the day, it was warm enough, and it did clear out right at the end, that we could hear the Weller vernal pool peepers. Thank you, Carl. And also solved a mystery there. It was mole activity under snow cover over the winter that left those tracks in the lawn. Kind of had a suspicion it was something like that. Mole, not a snake or a salamander. More on that later. At the same time we were having the peepers peeping in Vermont, a cloud moved into Boston, and that cloud was thick and it was touching the ground. And this is what it looked like on my webcam at sunset between 7 and 8 o'clock yesterday. That was at incredibly perplexing. I don't know if you remember yesterday morning, I may have showed, or maybe I didn't show it, but the meteogram for Boston temperature, just a 12-hour forecast, the temperature was supposed to be 65 with a dew point of 45 and a wind from the northwest and sunshine. Instead, the temperature and the dew point were 46.4, just about the same as the water temperature, with a wind from the northeast. How can you screw up a forecast that bad? Well, the triple point low. I always talk about these triple point lows, and they've got a mind of their own, and they always create weird weather. And yesterday I was saying to myself, well, or I said to you actually, this triple point low looks pretty weak as they go, and it was pretty weak. So what's the difference in the forecast if we had dense fog instead of sunshine? Well, just imagine if you're, a recreational pilot just learning how to fly with not on instrument flight rules yet, and you take off and you think the forecast is for clear sky, and you end up with dense fog. And Eileen in South Boston says it was about as dense a fog as she's seen in a long time, and maybe as long as she can remember. So that's a very important forecast, for pilots. And as a meteorologist, you don't want to get the weather wrong. All right, T-Rex, he's a little tangled here because his long line. We're going to go skiing again this morning, and then we're going to come back with the weekend forecast. A streak of nice Wednesdays and, not so nice Saturdays. 8:05 a.m. Sun's coming out. First Wednesday without snow falling in weeks for most of the winter. All right, there's my shadow this morning going up on lift line. It was a groomer, and I've neglected to remind people that it was nice Wednesdays, most Wednesdays over the winter, but this is what it looked like 1 week ago today. Remember that? Last Wednesday, we had about 4 inches of snow and about an hour and a half for first tracks. Remember that? That was a week ago today. And now this Wednesday, we're back here. It's about 10:30 in the morning, and that's the lift we were going up this morning. And it was great. First one down was Reed. It often is Reed, coming right there. I was about maybe 40th in line this morning, and it was really fast. Nosedive was groomed out, and you could almost tuck nosedive this morning. Be careful, though. You could catch an edge. So weather has rhythms, and most of the winter, the Wednesdays, had the lightest wind, but not this Wednesday. We've got the blue sky, but it's very unstable. Look at the latest readings from Mount Washington. I said this morning it was 20 earlier. Well, it's up to 24 at the summit, but it's up to 54 at about what was it, 2,300 feet? That's right about where we're looking up over here in Mount Mansfield, and that's a 30-degree temperature gradient, very unstable in the low levels of the atmosphere, and that's the reason for these scattered cumulus clouds. And the wind there on Mount Washington gusted to 74 miles per hour this morning at 9:20 a.m. But it's a nice day with the sunshine, and the wind is going to go light. And tonight we're going to have an inversion. So by tomorrow morning, the warmest air is going to be at the summits with a high pressure system moving in. That pressure system moving in right now is responsible for this gusty wind. It's been howling. And the fact that the sun is out, when you have sunshine, it really mixes up the atmosphere this time of year. And you probably can't hear the birds singing, can you? But I can hear a sparrow over there. All right, so let's get to the big picture pattern and use, well, first, why don't we look at this satellite image, the weekend storm, the last Saturday rain way out there in the North Atlantic, taking up a lot of space. And then this triple point confounding low pressure system from yesterday is out now into Newfoundland, and that's moving right along. And then you have these sort of separate streams there with another really intense cloud there in Texas, some severe weather, and also about south central Canada. Those two weather systems are going to kind of race toward the east and going to tend to join up right over New England on Friday. So let's put this into motion using the GFS and see how this all works. You have that low from last night and yesterday pushed off to the east there. All those isobars are weakening. And then tomorrow morning, there are no isobars. There's a 1029 high pressure system right over New England, sinking air and inversion. So they're really going to be able to groom up our trails here nicely. Tomorrow turns into a spring day, but there are going to be clouds increasing. We're going to have warm air advection trying to battle the departing cold, and that's going to result in a lot of clouds tomorrow and a couple of showers tomorrow afternoon. Low pressure systems coming at us from the west, and there's another one coming at us from the southwest, and how they come together is still somewhat complicated. Here's Friday now. We're going to have the wind increasing from the south. It's going to get gusty with some showers, maybe a thunderstorm. And then it looks like as a front to the north, low pressure to the north goes by, there's a new low forming right over Connecticut. This has been a fairly consistent signal now for Saturday. Friday night, Saturday morning, downpours with maybe a thunderstorm, some drenching rains to start Saturday. But once again, it looks like we are going to go from a wet gray start to increasing sunshine and instability showers possible in the afternoon as the temperature tries to go up, but the sky, it's getting colder. And then the cold front really comes in here Saturday night, and it looks like rain may end as snow in Maine. We may have a little upslope snow here. This has been a rhythm lately with the Saturday night front, and Sunday still looks like a beautiful day after a chilly start. Our last day of skiing, lift serve skiing at Mount Mansfield with beautiful weather, and that high is going to get to our south very quickly. On Sunday night, warm air advection returns. There's a powerful storm coming across the central part of the United States. It's going to drive to our north next Monday. No longer does it look 978, by the way. Yesterday I said 978. Now it looks like 980 something, so it's still formidable. And you see the 564 thickness, that red line, and all the black lines. Those are isobars pushing warm to record warm air in here on Tuesday into Wednesday. Very windy from the west and the southwest. And then during the day, Wednesday, we may have some strong thunderstorms coming across. That's a new cold front coming in. Wednesday night, new cold air advection comes in. Next Thursday, looks probably a lot like what we're seeing out the door right now with cold air advection. Next Thursday, a high pressure system is going to come in here. And oh, wait, look at that up there. May 2nd, stop. That's the 510 thickness. Next Friday is May 2nd. We're almost out to 240 hours. We talk about it a lot. Arctic air on May 2nd, north of Lake Superior. Talk about the 510 thickness being Arctic air. We don't usually see that in May. We saw it in May of 1977. Been talking about that a couple weeks ago. You know what I'm hinting at. All right, let's put this back in motion and take it out through the end of that period, which is now 8 p.m. on that same day. It's no longer a 510 thickness. It's opened up to a 516, but that's very cold air. And you have a lot of energy. A trough is digging there in the Midwest, and we have some ridging in the southeastern United States. And even though it looks like fairly dry to start our May, it looks like it's going to get fairly stormy. Again, that would be right on schedule to have a May 2nd, and now next a week from Saturday would be May 3rd. And I'll I'm not going to say it's going to snow in New England, but there are signs that it may try and snow in our summits somewhere here around May 3rd or May 4th. We only do 240 hours because we know how wrong it can be. And I don't want to be that wrong this far out, but we've had hints of 1977. I'll just leave that there. I'm not going to really show the QPF until tomorrow when we have a better grip on it, but much of New England should pick up 1 to 3 inches, and a couple of heavy batches coming in this Friday night and Saturday morning, and again next, probably about Wednesday or so, that front that comes in and breaks our heat of early next week. Yesterday we blew a 12-hour forecast, so I don't want to really go wrong on a 240-hour forecast. All right, so that's the end of our weather part, and more. We already talked about the peepers. I have a lot more to learn about peepers and salamanders, but yesterday I'll show you some highlights from skiing. Yesterday morning I did get into the glades, so we'll talk a little bit about that. And midsection of Goat was open. No ropes were ducked to ski some somewhat dirty moguls. That's not the right word. Not quite white, but there's some organic matter on our ungroomed snow, and the groomers over there are doing a great job finding their stashes of snow and forming a white carpet for us to get to the lifts and to the parking lot and to the shuttle. Dave driving the shuttle, really nice. Thank you, Dave. And then Earth Day appreciation. We're going to close out today's video with Earth Day appreciation, looking back millions of years at this rock formation here on the side of Spruce Peak in northern Vermont. And the glaciers went over it, and underneath that glacier were these boulders. They were scrubbed by glaciers and running water, forming these incredible formation now known as Bingham Falls. They've been around for millions of years, and here is TK discovering them for the first time yesterday. It pays to go off the beaten path a little bit, and you never know what you're going to find. In appreciation for Earth Day, here is some skiing from yesterday and the falls to close it out. Behind Bob today, 26th in line. No, me. Snow tends to change color this time of year. So still a few feet of natural snow, and I think there are portions of the front four with just natural snow that are open. Just below the cloud line here. 8:30 a.m. on Tuesday. Danny, would you? When you come to the iceberg, just keep going straight. Takes you to some natural snow. And look, no rope. Not ducking a rope. Helps to be a goat. Yeah, you can see why there's a rope at the top, but once you get down here, that is all natural. A little discolored, but still slippery. Birds. Some running water. Lift. Be tranquil. Touching the clouds. Childhood dream has always been to touch the clouds. Truth is, a cloud touching the ground is merely fog. So every time you're in fog, you're in a cloud. So we've gone from warm air advection to cold air advection. May have a light breeze tonight. For the first Wednesday, Thursday in several weeks, no powder in the forecast. So this is what we get. TK's line. It was thigh deep there at that choke point corner a week ago. But there's still enough to do TK's line below that. It's softer now. Getting to know where the rocks are. Between these two trees is the challenge. Hit it. And nosedive blades. Ross, I miss your videos now. I haven't seen one in so long. At least one a day. Now TK's doing 5 a day. Nosedive blades. All good. Miss you. Come on, guys. It's getting kind of lonely up here. Oh, classic April sky here outside True North. We're making new friends. Elise and Sam and Luke. And young ladies meeting T-Rex. His ears are so soft. Oh, look at, he's just in heaven right now. So how was the skiing, Luke?
It's not too bad. It's a little granular.
Yeah?
And it's getting pretty bare, but there's still some snow left.
So, do we have a mud kind of wax that we should be wearing today?
The yellow wax is for sure.
Yellow wax. Yeah, I had fun too. I actually did that middle goat section today. You know, there's no rope there. Yep. Oh. And there were no bare spots between. The top was kind of bare and the bottom, but right in between was good.
Goat can get pretty icy.
Yeah. All right. Well, Luke, I appreciate your viewership. It's great to meet you.
I was like, I recognize him from. I used to watch you way back. I love that you're doing JP.
Yeah. Where'd you grow up?
I love that. Concord, Mass.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was your weatherman pretty much your whole life.
Yeah. I think you might have came to my school too.
Oh, neat. How funny. Well, it's great to see you again. Maybe we can make some turns tomorrow. I'm probably here till Sunday, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, I'm dressed in gold. And T-Rex. He goes without saying. Everyone loves the T-Rex. 3:49 p.m. Tuesday. The wind is just picking up. We call it mostly dry air advection. There is cold air advection coming in, but not too cold. So the sun's out down there. Let's go look for that moving water, see where it falls. Smuggler's Notch. What a cool name, huh? Did you know that it's a national treasure?
So there's like a hike all the way this way to Sterling, which goes up behind.
Yeah.
Wow.
We can go up to Smugglers. Well, the beauty of Bingham Falls is timeless. The falls themselves are ever changing. The hand-colored main photo left was taken in 1900 at the Upper Cascades. Notice the long waterfall between the rocks. In the photo above, taken 2008, a downstream obstruction has created a pool where the fall had been. Let me get that right.
Oh.
You can hear it. Feel it. Can you dig it? Sign, sign, everywhere a sign. Do this, don't do that. Can't you read the sign? What looks like a glacier is actually a glacial moraine. Well, granted, it's been carved by a glacier into millions of years of running water. That is extreme climate change. Rubber gloves. Yet life finds a way. William H. Bingham, a respected lawyer, politician, and businessman in early Stowe. During the mid-1800s, tourists traveled to Vermont for its clean air and healthy living. Bingham saw the potential for Stowe as a tourist destination. He pushed for construction of the Mount Mansfield Toll Road in 1856, and later the magnificent Mount Mansfield Hotel and Stowe Village. That rock. Hey Rex, just right down here. You know, it's a double diamond kind of evening hike to the Bingham Falls. Incredible. Don't have to go far to find something new around here. New to me, but ancient to the earth. Look at this. Looking back millions of years. Utterly captivating. Thanks for watching. If everything goes right, I'll see you again tomorrow. Hopefully I don't catch an edge.